The first of two joint practices at the Jack Hammett Sports Complex here in Costa Mesa, California, between the New Orleans Saints and the Los Angeles Chargers is complete. It is the New Orleans Saints training camp show right here on CST, West Coast edition. I'm Todd Graffagnini. This is John DeShazier. JD, first things first, how do we bottle this weather up and bring it back home? Because this has been spectacular to work in today.
Like Graff, you can see why the Saints like coming out here getting this work done. It's not the kind of heat that they're accustomed to working in. And I think you can get great work done, productive work, and you can go practice as long as you want to because you don't have to worry about guys getting overheated. You don't have to worry about that situation where the fluid becomes really necessary. They were able to get in good work. It's crisp weather, no humidity. They love it here.
No question about it. You'll hear from head coach Sean Payton in just a little bit, but one of the main differences is the break times. If you think about what we saw here today, maybe one or two breaks tops, where at home you're going to break 6 or 7 times. So not only you're cutting into your practice time, but you're also worried about hydration.
Yeah, and that's huge back home. As you mentioned, guys will lose 10 to 12 pounds, some of them in water weight during those workouts back home. So again, you don't have to go through that here. You don't have guys sapped out and those kinds of things. And it leads to a much more productive day.
Let's hear from head coach Sean Payton on today's joint workout.
I've been fortunate now in 13 years where for the better part of 5 or 6 years, we always shared a practice with the Texans because we always played a preseason game proximity-wise. We've had 4 with the Patriots. This is our 3rd now with the Chargers. And I think that, I think my experience with them is it's always been a positive experience. It's always been a chance for growth because you're at that stage of training camp where you're going against each other for however many weeks, and now all of a sudden you get a little bit different alignment. And I think the key is the coaching staffs, the communication relative to what we're all expecting. And look, the work we get here is outstanding. Whether it's starting at the beginning with the individual one-on-one routes into the team periods, but a lot I'm sure we're gonna have to clean up when we watch the tape, and that's what we just finished talking about. You're in a race to keep improving every day. When you see someone else, you get different looks, both sides of the ball, different looks in the kicking game, and get on that tape and try to improve between today and tomorrow.
Well, JD, quarterback Drew Brees, very familiar with the surroundings here. Of course, has an off-season home in San Diego, played for the Chargers for a few years, so nothing new to him, and he definitely enjoys coming back out west to practice against his old team.
It's quality work. I mean, you're going against a really good team, the Los Angeles Chargers, a playoff team from last year, and you get great work. And again, a lot of valuable reps are happening in these practices. Let's
hear from quarterback Drew Brees.
I thought it was good. It's always good for us to have the opportunity to compete against another team, especially one like the Chargers here. Done this 3 years in a row. I think it's been really beneficial for us, I think, and for them. You get a different look, obviously a different scheme, both offensively and defensively. So you come out here and haven't really had a chance to prepare for it a bunch, and you just kind of throw yourself in the mix. And so you have to. I think it causes you to have to really think and kind of adjust to what you see, and I think it's just good work for everybody.
Drew, in some ways, is this as valuable as a preseason game?
Yeah, I'd say for me it's even more valuable because I'm getting a lot more reps, obviously, in these practices than I would be getting in a preseason game. And so and you script situations, right? You don't always encounter every situation in a preseason game, but out here you're able to script play action periods and pressure periods, 3rd down, red zone, 2-minute, everything that would happen throughout the course of a normal game or the regular season. And you get to go up against a really, really good, talented team, a team that's used to winning, a team that was a playoff team last year. So I think it's good. Just it ramps up the competition.
Your review of how you guys did, what did you think of overall offensive impression?
I mean, we'll look at the film. I don't think our tempo was as good as I would like for it to be. But we'll take a look at it and make the corrections we need to make.
Linebacker Demario Davis also enjoys practicing against the Chargers, JD, because it's just a quality opponent and you know you're going to get tough work in against a team that's expected to go to the playoffs.
Yeah, and again, we're talking about the biggest thing is it's a quality opponent, a quality organization. Demario Davis, we know what kind of player he is, and these are the kinds of workouts that really sharpen him.
Let's go and hear from linebacker Demario Davis.
Yeah, you never really know until you look at the tape, and you know it's at the end of the day, it's not live, so, you know, some plays that you don't know how it would look in a bang-bang situation, so it's kind of toss up, but I think it was some good work done all around.
Coming up next on the New Orleans Saints Training Camp Show, West Coast Edition, we'll go back to New Orleans for a training camp quarterback challenge. Welcome back to the New Orleans Saints Training Camp Show, West Coast Edition, right here on CST. I'm Todd Graffagnini. This is John DeShazier. JD, obviously in New Orleans, you're trying to beat the heat. And this quarterback challenge was able to do so. Throw some kids in there, and there's nothing like water balloons on a hot July day.
Today's going to be fun, all right? So we brought some volunteers, some kids here. Thanks, kids, for coming. Although it was a pretty easy sell to basically tell you that you would have water balloons and that you would be chucking them at the Saints quarterbacks when we miss a throw. So you are penalized for missing throws today, quarterbacks. You're on alert. Here's what we're going to do. 5 throws, all right? We're throwing these 3 trash cans, okay? The point value is 2 points for the first trash can, 1 point for the middle, 3 points for the back trash can. Here's the thing, as long as you make them in the trash cans, you're not going to get pegged. But the minute that you miss a throw, you're basically right here with the water balloon firing squad. 1, 2, 3, and they get to peg you for every ball that you miss. You guys ready for this?
Yeah, definitely.
How many water balloons do you think you're going to be throwing at us today?
500.
500 water balloons. Here we go.
Miss it.
Oh, wait, no, get him! Get him! Peg him! Throw it harder! Oh, peg him!
I'm sure about that.
Peg him! Harder!
I'm popped it.
Oh! Peg him again! Peg him again! Peg him again! Oh!
All right, here we go. Let's just do 3 throws.
Thomas, get a balloon.
Oh my.
Oh! Peg him again! Thomas, throw it at him. Throw it at him. Have a throw. Yes, peg him! Harder! Oh! That's it! Oh, that's it. That's 3. That's 3. No, you can't throw it.
You lucky. But next time you're not gonna make it.
Got 3 points.
Get
Get him! Get him!
Ah, dang it.
Buddy. Oh, is that a 1 or 2? Is that the front? That's 2. That's a throws. He makes it.
Okay, you got
1.
this.
All right. That's another 1. He's hot. I have 2 points with 2 throws left. All right, I need a 3-pointer.
Are you gonna make
All right, so hey, we're in a 1-tie all-tie right now. Hey! No! Oh, here. We're in a 1-tie all-tie situation, so sudden death. We each get 1 throw. See who makes it, see who misses. See who gets pegged.
Oh my goodness. I just say something.
There it is. So he's in for 2. He's in for a 2-pointer.
Make the back
No! Take me and taste him! Take me and taste him!
Oh my god, I missed it.
Oh no! Oh, it's going out.
Got the dub. Got the dub, baby. First one in the books. It's been a long road, hard process,
Thank you.
and I'm just grateful of this opportunity. I worked extremely hard, had to overcome adversity. Had to overcome adversity, man. It's a great group of quarterbacks, and they've been kicking my behind. And I'm tearing up right now. First win.
Final segment of the show, New Orleans Saints Training Camp Show, West Coast Edition. I'm Todd Graffagnini. This is John DeShazier. JD, as far as the practice itself, I tell you, both teams got a lot of work in as far as making plays against the other. I thought the Saints played well early. I thought the Chargers picked it up at the end. You'd almost call it right down the middle, 50-50.
Yeah, I think a lot of observers thought about that. A seasoned observer said pretty much the same thing, where he thought the Saints had the edge earlier in the practice, and then the Chargers came on late. I thought we saw some good things out of the Saints defensively early, especially in the pass rush drills by the linebackers, as well as the cover drills by the DBs and the linebackers. So a lot of good work going on in these practices.
Also good to see, we saw Teron Armstead back on the practice field today. Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas appeared in the individual portion before going to the backfield to condition. So starting to see some guys that have missed some time back in there again.
Yeah, exactly. Keith Kirkwood back on the practice field, and we're good to see those guys back on the field. You want to see them getting good quality work. Emmanuel Butler got some work in the team drills also. Didn't have a great day in terms of catching the ball, but it's good to see him back on the field.
All right, JD, that's going to wrap it up for us here today. We'll be right back here at the Hammett Sports Complex tomorrow for day number 2. Don't forget, the actual preseason game is Sunday, 3 o'clock New Orleans time on CBS. For John DeShazier, I'm Todd Graffagnini. This has been the New Orleans Saints Training Camp Show, West Coast Edition on CST.